Some rock stars burn out because of drugs, some because of fame, and some because one bad night changes their entire damn life. Michael Hutchence had everything people dream about: money, fame, women obsessed with him, one of the biggest bands on earth, and a voice so smooth it practically hypnotized people. But behind all that cool, things were getting ugly because the guy who looked untouchable on stage was slowly falling apart. And by the end, even people closest to him barely recognized who he'd become. This is the story of how the frontman of INXS went from global sex symbol to one of rock music's darkest tragedies. Late 80s, early 90s, INXS was exploding.
I need you tonight, so slide over here and give me a moment.
They weren't popular, they were massive. Hit records, sold out tours, MTV constantly playing their videos. And at the center of it all was Michael Hutchence, the guy who had it all. He didn't even look like he was trying. That dangerous stare, the messy hair, the swagger. Women wanted him. Some men wanted to be like him. People compared him to Mick Jagger and Jim Morrison because he had the same raw magnetism, the kind that makes a room stop when you walk into it. But people like that usually live fast, and eventually, fast catches up with you. Then came the relationship that turned Michael from rock god into tabloid warfare. He started seeing British TV personality Paula Yates, and the media lost its damn mind.
It's the fantastically talented Michael Hutchence.
Hi.
Hi. What are you, a big sex symbol or something? Hi.
Because Paula was still married to Bob Geldof when the relationship became public, and there were kids involved. British tabloids went savage with the story. Michael got painted as this seductive rock star who helped destroy a celebrity marriage. Paparazzi followed them everywhere. Every interview became awkward. Every appearance became gossip fuel. And suddenly Michael Hutchence wasn't just famous anymore. He was controversial. Some people loved him for it. Others absolutely hated him. But one thing's for sure, the pressure around him got way heavier after that.
We could live for 1,000 years.
Then came the moment that may have changed his life forever. August 1992, Copenhagen. Michael got into a violent confrontation with a taxi driver. Now, details vary depending on who tells the story, but what is confirmed is this. Michael ended up hitting the pavement hard enough to fracture his skull. And after that incident, people close to him said he was never really the same again. He reportedly lost most of his sense of smell and much of his sense of taste. Now, maybe that doesn't sound devastating at first, but think about it. Taste, smell, emotion, memory, those things are deeply connected in the brain. And over time, friends started noticing changes in him. Mood swings, depression, isolation, explosive anger. No one can say with absolute certainty how much of the injury affected his mental health, but people closest to him insisted something inside him has changed. Like somebody dimmed the lights in his personality. And honestly, that's terrifying because brain injuries don't always leave visible scars. Sometimes they quietly rewrite who a person is. As the years went on, the cracks got worse. INXS wasn't dominating music the way they used to. The relationship drama with Paula became exhausting. There were custody battles involving Paula and Bob Geldof, constant media harassment, stories about emotional breakdowns and drug use, and Michael looked drained. Not tired, drained. Life like itself was wearing him down piece by piece. Friends later described him as emotionally overwhelmed during this period. More withdrawn, more volatile, more hopeless. The same guy who once owned arenas with pure confidence now seemed trapped inside his own head. And the scary part, a lot of people around him could see the spiral happening in real time. They just didn't know how bad it had gotten. By late 1997, things had become incredibly dark. Michael was reportedly devastated over ongoing personal issues involving Paula, her children, and tensions surrounding custody arrangements. People close to him later said he sounded emotionally crushed. like somebody reaching the edge. Then came November 22nd, 1997. Michael Hutchence was found dead in a hotel room in Sydney. He was only 37 years old. The coroner officially ruled his death and just like that, one of the most magnetic frontmen in rock history was gone. No comeback story, no redemption arc, just over. Even now, decades later, people still debate what really destroyed Michael Hutchence. Was it fame, depression, drugs, the toxic pressure surrounding his personal life? Or did that brain injury in Copenhagen alter him more deeply than anyone realized at the time? The truth is probably some brutal combination of all of it, because real downfalls usually aren't caused by one giant disaster. They happen slowly, one crack at a time, one bad decision, one fight, one spiral, until eventually the entire thing collapses. But the story didn't end when Michael did, because he left behind a daughter with Paula Yates, and she was just a child when everything fell apart. After Michael's death, her mother Paula continued raising her while dealing with her own very public struggles. Then in 2000, tragedy hit again. Paula Yates died from a heroin overdose. And just like that, Tiger Lily lost both parents in the span of a few years. After Paula's death, custody of Tiger Lily passed to Bob Geldof, who stepped in and raised her alongside his own children. It's one of those rare, brutal aftershocks of fame that people forget about, because the story doesn't just end with a rock star. It ripples outward into families, into children, into lives that never asked for any of it. Today, Michael Hutchence is remembered as one of the greatest frontmen rock music ever produced. But his story hits differently now, because underneath all that fame and swagger was a guy who may have been suffering far more than anyone understood. And maybe that's the darkest part of all this. The world saw a rock star living the dream, while behind the scenes, the man himself was quietly coming apart. And by the time people realized how serious it really was, it was already too late.